Welcome and welcome and welcome, everyone. So beautiful for you to be using Chi Yoga as a way of connecting with your body and connecting in your whole self. So today we come through the lens of working with our nervous system. So also I cannot not looking at our autonomic nervous system. So the processes that are completely out of our awareness on us often, although we feel the tension in our chest and our shoulders, or we feel the fatigue. So we've got to work with a reconnection in this process. So let's start rubbing our hands together gently and a gentle sway from one side of one sit bone to the other. So we just, yeah. Just coming into this space here now. That's right. Right here, right now. Exactly the right place to be. Beautiful, and that's enough. So you can feel your hands, inviting you to place them on your knees, palms up. Now just do we'll call it an internal selfie. You know, one of those photo selfies. So we're going to check, where are your feet? Where are your knees in relation to your feet? Where is your sit bone in relation to your knees? Where are your hips in relation to your knees? And then your hips in relation to your shoulders. And then your head sits above. So first of all, we're just checking that. We're just discovering what happened. When you cross your feet over maybe and slump a little bit, what do you feel different? Where are your feet? Where are your knees? Where are your hips? What do you notice about your shoulders? And then start to notice about your spine. And of course, your head. So now let's consciously place our feet one at a time onto the floor. Check in, a little bit of a wiggle of the toes, spreading your toes if you can. If you're not in shoes, it's easier. If you're in shoes, you can only spread them so far. And then just relax. Coming up your legs to your knees. Where are your knees? And I mean that, like, because they could be off to the side, they could be pulled in, you could be holding something. I mean, you could have a cat on your knee. Or you might have your heels up. Like, where are your knees in comparison to your feet? This is a self-awareness thing. Beautiful. Now let's check in with the hips. Are you squealy on the chair? Years of doing table work, that means like a massage table, people will get up on the table and I look at them and they're like off to the side in a line. It's easy to sort of land on a chair and not possibly be placed on the chair. So we're inviting you to feel the placement. Are you squished back into the chair? Or what does it feel like if you're a little bit further forward? Now, how is this even relevant, Karen? Well, how do you sit? Where are the tensions that are held during this time? What happens if you sit forward a little bit so that your feet can be on the earth and you can have some right angles with your body? All right, now bring your chest up a little bit and tuck in your chin and roll your shoulders back. Now, what do you notice there? Is it comfortable? Is it like a surprise? Are you even able to roll your shoulders back? Nothing wrong with any of this. It is simply finding and discovering how is your body sitting. My hands have naturally gone down, palm down onto the knees, so inviting you to do that too. Now, pull your belly button in, just your belly button, towards your spine. and then release it. Okay, so just your belly button towards your spine and release. Belly button towards your spine. And it might only move a little bit, but just notice that. This is our core strength area. This is what we want to be able to have an awareness of so that it can help and support the bones in our body. All right, let's pull our shoulders up to our ears and then gently unwind them. Ooh. And again, pulling them up to our ears, inhale. This time with an exhale, maybe up through your mouth. See if you can extend the space between your ears and your shoulders. Pull the back of your head up a little bit and tuck in your chin. All right, inhaling, shoulders up and down. See if you can find some space in through here. And one more, inhale up to your shoulders to your ears. Squeeze in. And exhale, really letting go. A little bit of a shake through the shoulders there. And if you want to, with your toes. Gentle nodding. That's what we're doing here, is a gentle nod. Beautiful. Now we're going to feel into our feet and lift up on our toes and then down onto the heels and toes up. So up onto the toes, down into the heels and toes up. Up onto the toes, down into the heels, toes up. And again, and release. Right, bring your knees really, really close together for a moment and your feet really close together and feel the tension that will create. Yeah. Maybe you can feel it in the lower back. Just feel that for a moment. Inhale. And then exhale and just widen them and soften the lower base of your spine. All right, we're going to take our legs a little bit out to the side. Maybe it's easier, of course, if you have chair with no sides. Just opening up a little bit into the hips area. Inhale. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. So just gently pulling it in, just like a cushion. You know how a cushion has that button often in the middle that just pulls it in? We're just feeling that gentle pull towards the spine. And release. Inhale, so we have a nice big belly open. And then exhale and gently just imagine that the belly button is pulling towards the spine. One more, so let the belly release. Inhale, open. Sometimes it helps to use your hands to imagine opening. And then exhale, belly button towards the spine. What happens if you just kind of put your fingers in front of your belly button and move the belly button away from your fingers? And release. We're going to move our legs back in again, one at a time. You can lift them up if that suits you. All right, sit bones, one side to the other. So here we are again, just moving into our hips, feeling into our hips here. A little easier if you put your hands on your hips so that you can feel the hips go up and down. If you squeeze in a little bit, you can feel your bones, but just feeling your hips there. And breathe in and exhale and soften again. All right, all self-awareness things. Let's work with our shoulders here. We're going to roll them back one at a time. Inhale up and back. So what does it look like? It's up and back. On the other side, inhaling up and back. So when we've got them both going together, it's up and back. So sometimes you might have one that's easier than the other. And then you might have the other one that you have to work with a little bit. You might hear clickety click. You might feel different tensions. You might feel, oh, that's release and relief. Beautiful. So this is us warming up all of our aspects and parts. So now we're going to lift our elbows, inhale our elbows up and hang the hands, all right? So we're going to inhale elbows up and just hang the hands, even just play a little bit here with just hanging the hands and keeping the shoulders up. How does that feel? What's the response? And release down. It's always nice to kind of just give it a little bit of a shake out. And again, inhaling elbows up, the elbows. So we're lifting from our elbows like a little puppet. Nice and tall seated, nice and tall. Swing the hands. Maybe they're going to come in and out and in and out, or maybe you're going to synchronize them for a moment. And when you're ready, we're going to drop them down and shake that out. Beautiful. Now from the front, we're going to raise as though we've got string on our elbows. Good thing I'm not teaching body. On our wrist, we're going to raise up and down. Other side. Up. So raising from the wrist and down. Inhale up and down. Before we were lifting from our elbows, today we're raising from our wrist and down. And again, and down, up and down. Think of it like you're painting a little bit, like your hand is flowing. Let your breath breathe. Be conscious of your breath. What is your breath doing? And pause. Let everything settle for a moment. Sometimes it's nice to just close your eyes or look down away from the screen for a moment, just to give yourself a little rest. Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to work with our ears towards our shoulders. So just listen up. Inhale. Exhale. Pull your belly button in if you can do that. And then take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just a little bit. So what it'll do is it'll open up the other side of the neck. You might feel a little tension there, or you might feel a great release, or you might feel space. Inhale, center, just do it gently. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Again, releasing the other side of the neck. Inhale to center, and then tucking your chin in and lifting. If you can imagine lifting that part of your head, like the base of your hair here, is just pulling up a little bit, giving you a couple more millimeters in your spine and around the neck area. You think of it, the head's quite heavy, and it sits upon what's called an atlas, and the little socket sits like this on the shoulders. So when we are moving and twisting our head, this is what's happening to some extent. And so here we're just gently working with our neck. Okay. All right, we're going to open our arms. We're going to inhale, open. Here we're really moving to two parts. One is we're opening up the chest and all in through around this area, the clavicle area up here, and opening the armpits. And we're also squeezing the shoulders together, the shoulder blades together. You can't quite see it with my top on here, but the shoulder blades are coming together with a squeeze to allow the space in the chest. So we're inhale, open, and then exhale, close, bringing our elbows together. What that will do is when our elbows come together, the shoulder blades open a little bit. So we're inhale, open, chest is open, breasts are up. We've got this openness, shoulder blades squeezed together at the back. And then when we pull our elbows together gently, it opens up the shoulder blades. Inhale, open. And exhale. You can pull that belly button in like a button into the cushion. And then release. So that's already quite a lot through those sections. So we're just going to breathe for a moment. Inhale for the count of 4. Hold for 2. And out for 4. Pause for 2. In for 4. Just sit there for a moment for the count of 2. 1, 2, and then out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Pause for 2. 1, 2, and then in for 4. Pause for 2. 1, 2, and then out through your nose for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. So keeping it up. Count for 2, holding. Then in for 4. Hold for the count of 2. 1, 2, and then out for 4. Hold for 2. In for 4. Pause for 2. Out for 4. No breath for 2. In for 4. Hold for 2. And then out for 4. And then just do your own breath and breathing. Now that is very likely to change the way you feel. So just let that happen. Okay. So we're going to do some stretching, opening of our system here. Too often we kind of, without being aware of it, we close ourselves up. Might be looking at something or reading or doing something like this. And this is fine. It's opening up this section to some degree, but look at the way my spine is when I do this and how I have to change all of the different parts in my body to allow that to happen. And it squeezes down this very important area here, which is digestion to some degree. It's also often where we digest life. So it's not just the food digestion, it's also just the feeling digestion. So with what we're going to do here is check your feet, check your knees, check your hips on your chair. And before we were raising our arms by the wrist, this time we're going to raise up by our fingers. So we're inhaling up. We're going to clasp our fingers together at the top. So however you want to do that, thumb over and fingers together. So that we've just got this little gathering here. Stretch a little bit. And then relax. And just take that feedback. If that was uncomfortable for you, just maybe give yourself a rub or just breathe. If you liked that feeling, then join me again. Inhale up. Notice how it's almost like your belly is open. It's a very vulnerable feeling situation. Your armpits are up. reaching, it's a stretch, the body's getting some movement and some space, and then gently again, bringing your arms down. Now, respond to what's happened there. Well, if it felt good, give yourself a rub. If it didn't feel good, give yourself a rub. Hope you're getting what I mean here. Just acknowledge that you are asking your shoulders to reach a long way. So we're hanging things up, we're pulling curtains. All this is happening just to do life. And here we're just inviting this ability to stretch. Sometimes it's really nice to have that stretch. And release. And just while we release that for a moment and take a seat, just a stillness. My little nephew was here the other day, and of course he's 3, so his hands don't quite come up very high yet because he's of course short. And by the time he gets to school, he will be able to do this. But right now he can't. His arms just aren't long enough. And I do love seeing how children grow, how they can move their body. And so for us, this is this memory of how can I help and support my body to be able to move. And sometimes it's just these little movements, just having a go. Yeah. So this chi yoga with the nervous system, just slowing down like we are doing, and moving moving ourselves, we can allow the nervous system to actually just settle. All right, we want to move our ribs now. We're going to do it in 2 different ways. We're going to inhale from here, hands onto your ribs, and remember from last time, your left hand, you're going to inhale, opening up your left hand and turning to the left hand side. Bring it back, and then your exhale is through your right hand. Really important, it's left in, right out today. Inhale, exhale out right. When you've had enough, you stop. And back to center. And again, pause. Never underestimate the power of slow movement. Shifts the regulatory system of your body. Movement and then stillness allows the body to think, to feel something through, to make the changes. Beautiful. Okay, so now we are going to shift our ribs from side to side. So I'm going to invite you to put your hands up by your ribs. And we're just going to start slow, just sort of this little bit of an awareness here. Oh yeah, okay, I can feel my ribs closing up on one side or opening up on the other. Now, why is this important? Wow, you think about it. Every time you are bending to do something, there's an opening and there's a closing of this area. This also actually helps a massage for some of the organs. So we're just gently doing this. Now, if this isn't working for you, having your hands in here, you can tuck them underneath. You can not do that and just side to side. And then pause. Again, let it settle. We're going to breathe in for 4. Inhale. Hold for 2. Out for 4. Hold for 2. In for 4. Hold for 2. Out for 4. In for 2. Oh, so pause for 2. In for 4. Pause. Out for 4. Pause for 2. In for 4. Pause for 2. And out for 4. And then just stop. Maybe close your eyes or look down to the floor. Tuck your chin in, lift your head. Make sure your spine is long. And just soften the whole body. Beautiful. Now we're going to move our hands along our legs in a gentle massage. Maybe it's small circles, especially around this area, especially around this kind of area here, and using your palms so that you can When you've had enough of that, just pause. Again, into one arm. You're going to soothe down soon. At the moment, we're just running some vigorous patterns. The inside of the arm. The inside of the leg, really soft on the inside of the leg. You can reach down a little bit, down into the calves, round. Beautiful. And we're just starting now to release also into this lower back area as we just start to come forward a little bit, just your own way. And then let's help it with breathing. So we're going to inhale. Exhale, belly button towards the spine, like that little cushion. Place either your hands on your knees or on your chair, whichever feels good. And we're going to exhale forward. And we're going to lean in. When you're ready, we're going to inhale up. And if you want to, you can place your hands on your knees and inhale up. You can exhale forward. You can leave your hands on your knees and just gently come forward. It doesn't have to be far. Please don't do too far. Inhale up. The power of what I think is with chair yoga is the potency of the conscious movement. It's just so potent. Most of our lives, we do things very unconsciously. And when we bring it into our awareness, I'm going to do this now. It's why dancing, learning to dance is so strange, because we walk all the time. We can walk around things because we unconsciously know how to do it. When we have to become aware of our feet, that's what we can talk about, the 2 left feet concept. It's just different because we're becoming aware of them. So with what we do with chair yoga, it's the same thing. We're becoming aware of these movements, this forward and back movement, this side to side movement, this twisting movement. And we're asking all of this of our spine all of the time, and often not even in a squared space. You think of how many times you'll have things off in angles and you're trying to do something over here, which is great and fine, and you get away with it. It's just there's very little support in the core area. So to help ourselves remove injury from our life to some extent is to become aware of how we are using our body. All right. So I really feel right now that in the lower base of the spine is where we're going to bring a little bit of warmth. So this is really good for people who have sore back. Give your hands a little bit of a rub out. Breathe out through your mouth. See if you can get a whistle. Breathing in. Breathing in again. And then bring the heat of your hand into the base of your spine. The heat of the hand and the base of the spine. And here you might like to just close your eyes and let that restfulness happen. Gentle, restful. When you're ready, just release your hands, release your arms. Square up on your chair so that you're in comfort. We're going to do some, they're called havening techniques, and they all help with movement and self-awareness, and they're very calming. So we're going to now slowly run our hand up and down real slow. So we've done it vigorously. Now we're going to do it real slow. And just notice how calming that can be. I got chicken skin. It's just that calming feeling. Okay. And then gently up and down. So before we did it a little bit more rigorously. Now we're just doing a real calming self-touch. Up and down. How is this connected with movement? Very, 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 because what we're doing here is we're awakening our system. We're letting it know that everything's okay right now. I'm here for you. It's okay. We've got this. And then maybe even just over the back of the hand. And this is the sensation. You think of all the things you touch during your day. And here we're becoming conscious to our own touch. Beautiful. Pause. Now we're going to work with the lymphatics just a little bit too. And we're going to start from our ears, and we're gently going to softly, 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 softly bring our fingers down the side of our neck and down our system. If you can't get it wrong, this is just a process of just bringing it gently down the side of the neck, down maybe over the breast or just in front, and then down your system. If you want to, you can start even higher, up on the forehead and just running down sides of our neck, down the front of our body, just letting your fingers run all the way down, and you can come down your legs if that feels good. And now from the top of the head, down, releasing down, maybe down the side of your body, and down. And we're going to pause for a moment. I'm going to invite you to notice while you're breathing in for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pausing for 2. 1, 2. Out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause for 2. 1, 2. In for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause for 2. 1, 2. Out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You keep that rhythm up yourself just for a moment. I'll do it with you. Beautiful, and just settle. All right. That feels like it's quite enough for the day. So I'm going to invite you to notice what you've done. You've squared your body up. You've become aware and self-awareness of our body. We've moved our spine in different ways. We've touched ourselves and moved energy quite vigorously. We've lifted from elbows, lifted from wrists. We've come up onto our toes and down again. We've moved and lengthened the neck a little bit just to bring it out of the shoulders. We've moved our shoulders away from our ears. We've opened up our chest and opened up our shoulder blades. And then we've gently self-soothed. So this is a self-soothing practice. Okay. I would like to thank you for what you've done. If this is useful for you, please share with other people. Again, this is a recording that's available for you. Thank you very much to those who purchased this. And please also feel that free that you can share if you think it is one of the 8 in the series is useful for people. Please share it. They're going to be slightly different, even though we're filtering through the nervous system as we go, which of course everything does. So much love to you. May your day be just as you need it to be. Thank you very much, and enjoy that 4-count breath. It can be very useful for just settling the system. Have a grand afternoon or rest of the day.